It's all good.
Zoom changed. They added another security feature, and it looks, and I have to keep looking because I don't know. Gene got locked in the waiting room, and we have to have you have to choose either a waiting room or a code word. And
Right.
that was supposed to go in with the next meeting, but apparently it got into this one.
I got locked in the bathroom.
Well, we can go if on this thing where if we look at what we've got for appointments, I've got some issues that I don't have anything for timesheets and money turnover. That was not in my packet.
No, but I emailed them to you.
On email.
Really? And I looked for that and I could not find that, but that's okay.
I reviewed it.
If you reviewed it, then were you okay with the timesheet, Herb?
I was.
And I'm okay. Lee, are you okay?
Sure, it seems fine.
How about the money? So somehow or other, I did not get one of the emails, Gina. I don't know why.
I don't know why.
But
the turnover was for $1,190.
And it was primarily plumbing, wasn't it?
Mostly plumbing and septic. There was, I think, one septic and the rest were plumbing.
Right. And that
so it's a total of $1,190.
Are we okay with that? I am.
Yes.
Lee?
Sure, just all fine. Thank you.
Okay, then we can look at for the people coming in. We do not have Bob Gian. We do not have Ed Berry. Do not have Philippe Cravo. Sherman and Frederick will be coming in. There, I did review that. The fee has been paid. It turns out that this is along Aldrich Lake on the Amherst Street property. They're far enough from the wetland. It's all sands. It's a house with 2 bedrooms, but 3 floors. And when I looked at it, there's a room on the first floor that's called a piano room. There could be I think a bedroom. There's a finished room in the lower level. There's a full finished walkout big basement that I thought could be another bedroom. And it's got a separate building, an outbuilding that they're calling a studio. It's got plumbing in it, and it's going to have a bathroom. And when I talked to the engineer, I said that begs to be an in-law apartment. And so what they did is they submitted a design for the 4 bedrooms plus the in-law apartment. So it's going in as already made for that. And that it needs to be, they're going to use a little fill, but I recommend that we approve it, but subject to fill.
Okay. It's refreshing that at least they're calling it out from day one to what it could be without playing any games.
Yeah, that's, go ahead, Herb.
It's the Bachelor Street.
I think this one was called Lot 2 Amherst Street.
Oh, okay. So I'm just looking at the wrong one right now.
Yeah.
Lot 2 Amherst. Okay, let me just get that one out again.
Okay, Herb, they've submitted a revised one since. I just got it today.
Yeah, it's what I just described.
Because I hadn't seen all that. That's why I was asking, because, I do see the studio though. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and what happened is I asked them for details because the leach field is within, it's a little more than 10 feet from the foundation, which is too close to a regular foundation, but it's a slab, so it's okay there. And I asked for the details of the house. I said, gee, that's an awful big house for 2 bedrooms. And so they did supply that, and then they changed the design. The other thing that did happen in there was the adjacent lot to the west, that's lot 1. The engineer on our last meeting was going to relocate the well. That was what we required, and that was relocated so that this lot doesn't step on the well.
Okay.
Are you okay with this, Herb?
Yeah, I obviously didn't see the revised plans, but if you're saying they're okay, then I'm okay with it.
So I expect to have quite a discussion with the ones we're not doing tonight, but let's not waste our time on those. I'll have to try to resolve that for the next meeting.
So the studio is a slab, is that right?
That is correct. There is no dug foundation there.
All right.
I guess if we're, are the folks from American Legion here? Yeah. I'm trying to find the waiting room here, guys, and I see people in it. And there's no way for me to find it.
So this is a Zoom snafu.
It is a Zoom snafu, and I'm just looking at trying to find the waiting room. And on my screen, I do not see a waiting room.
Well,
Yeah. So this is definitely a snafu.
yeah.
No, I can see 10 participants, but on us right now, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's people in the waiting room. Oh, here we go. I found the way to let them in. Oh, okay, it looks like we've got the people finally were allowed to get in,
Thank you.
which we're gonna have to fix in the future. I'll make sure we don't have any waiting room. So now we can ask, are the people here from American Legion? I don't hear anybody.
I'm here from the Legion. I'm Steve.
Okay.
I'm on the phone.
Okay. Although if are you the one that's capable of speaking for everybody? Because on my agenda, it says that Rob Chauvin is going to be here.
Yeah, he should be. He's supposed to call you at an appointment, but he might be in your waiting room, so to speak. Jeff
Yeah,
might be logging in, and also Mark.
Okay, so you're not up until 5 after 7, so we won't start that yet.
That's fine.
Lee, are you ready for your Title V inspection reports? Are you with us, Lee? So I don't
Yes,
know.
I
if-
am.
Okay, are you ready for the Title V inspection reports?
Yes, I went over the 3 that Gene sent me, and everything is approved, installed. Everything is right up to par.
Now that's 8 Lynn Drive, 69 Taylor Street and 71 Taylor Street.
Correct.
Are you okay with that, Herb?
If Lee has reviewed it, yes.
Okay, I am too. So Gene, all 3 of those are done.
Okay.
Dick, there's one more thing that was dropped off. I'm not sure if the board received it or not. I got a packet from Attorney Baker regarding a Title V on Deerbrook that was listed as a 3 to 4 bedroom issue. I don't know if the board is aware of that or not. I have the packet. I can submit it to Gene's office tomorrow. I don't know if anyone is aware of it besides me.
I got a call. It can't be on the agenda tonight, I think. But
Okay.
I did get a call from Attorney Baker, and
Yep.
he said that they were doing a Title V. It is a Title V system, and he said that it's a 330 plus 110 system, but that the house is a 4-bedroom. And I told them that our procedure was that if it is a 3-bedroom Title V system and people ask to change it, add 1 bedroom, we allow 1 bedroom. That is our policy, to allow 1 bedroom. And so he was going to submit it and request that we allow 1 bedroom, but I haven't seen it.
Okay. I can drop it off at the outside mailbox where Gene's office is.
Okay.
I had the same discussion with him on Monday and Tuesday, but he's looking for something in writing from the board to that effect for the buyer's attorney.
So it just needs to get into our agenda the next time.
Okay.
Well, we're waiting for the 5 after 7. Cindy's, Herb, you asked some stuff to go on to discuss. Cindy's ended up that Sharon Hart finally got the information she needed. Cindy's did not shut down when they found out they had a positive as one of their employees. Herb, you did tell them, and the police did go and make sure they shut down. And it took a little while to get to the bottom of who was a contact and who wasn't. And Sharon finally got it straightened out, and Jeremiah did end up calling me the next day or the day after he opened and said they had gotten everybody had been tested and got the results back, and they were all negative.
That's the only thing in my cart.
The next thing that I've got on my list is Colleen's going to be coming on board on Tuesday, the 13th. We are supposed to, according to Chris Martin, the Board of Health is supposed to sign the job offer with the contract, and the contract is for $41,000 a year for 35 hours total, including our meetings. I was hoping it was going to be in our hands to give approval tonight. We've got to put a mechanism in place. Either we're going to have a special meeting or agree that that we're gonna let Gene sign it for us if it's for those terms? What do we want to do?
$41,000? Is that,
Yes,
is that equivalent salary to other similar positions in Granby?
what it is, Gene is, I think it's near what Gene's pay is, but it's what Colleen was getting within, I think within pennies of what she's making right now. And it's what we agreed that we were gonna do. Lee and Herb,
Well, I don't have anything to look at. If you all think this is appropriate and is pass muster, we certainly want to bring her on board, and we want to do it expeditiously. So if this is the way to do it, then I can agree.
what if we leave it that when we see the contract, we send it out to each of us, and unless somebody says, hey, I don't agree with that, we then let Gene exercise it for us. I hate to have a special meeting just to do this.
I totally agree with that.
What do you think, Lee? I guess we lost Lee.
Why don't you go ahead and
Well, Herb and I will vote on that, and we'll
Yep.
agree.
Yep.
Back into this thing.
Okay, so Keith, I'm gonna make life easy for you. I see you sitting there. We've approved your design subject to Phil,
Okay,
so you're done.
well, thank you so very much for all your hard work then.
Okay, have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
Night.
You guys have a good night too. Take care.
So it is now not 5 after 7 yet, so
We have meeting minutes.
okay. Gene, have these all been approved?
They've all been, well,
I
they'll be
mean, have
approved
they all
tonight,
been
but yes.
reviewed?
Yes. We have August 27th, September 2nd, and September 15th.
And you've got both Herb's comments and my comments on those?
Yes, yes, I do.
I'm okay with that. Lee and Herb, what do you think?
It'd be hard for me to say no if my comments are already corporate.
Just testing verb.
Okay. I did get it just as a point of reference. It's not quite 7:05. I did get a call from Boner Engineering about Dollar General, and they're in the process of getting rid of the existing well, and they want to move way out in the back and put in a public water supply. So they asked what we required, and we said you need a permit to abandon the well, and also a permit for the new well. The other thing I did caution is, since I don't know what the understanding is with the restaurant across the street. I just cautioned that if they were proposing to run a public water supply across the street, they should get us involved early.
So they're going to go up that hill? Is that what they're going to do?
Yeah, apparently, I don't know exactly what a lot line looks like, her, but I think they own right along the driving range, like 700 feet back there, but I don't know exactly. But they're gonna, that's where someone who's on right now is killing us with some.
No.
Maybe I'm gonna have to take turns muting.
Not even possible.
Well, it looks like it did stop, but so I'm just saying that to you, that's what's in there. And it doesn't require anything from us. I'm just informing.
Okay.
So
That sounded like, that noise sounded like the debate the other night.
you're right. You're right. Well, my clock says that we're about at 7:05. That the folks from American Legion, can you?
I am here, Steve.
Okay. Now, what is the purpose of this meeting? Why you're asked to be here? I see that there's a bunch of stuff that came in, and it sounds like one of the things that it said on that application was that you have South Hadley Public Water Supply, and I just didn't remember the South Hadley Public Water being up there, but.
Yes, we have city water or town water, whichever. We have sewage and no, actually, you know what? That is right. You are correct in that. We still use our well. We have South Hadley sewage. We don't have the water. That's my mistake. I miswrote that.
Okay. So as just looking at that, it sounds like there's an application that you're saying you want to be a 7-day, 12 noon to 9 o'clock restaurant. That's what you're asking for. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're looking to get a food establishment permit so we can provide food and open our doors. And each night was not, it was like 12 to 9, I think 4 nights, and 3 nights. The other ones were 12 to, I forget what we wrote. I got it written down here somewhere, 12 to 6 maybe. Let me look here.
And Lee, as I went through it, I'm just wondering if they're saying they want to be turned into a full restaurant now, should we be asking for all the same stuff that we're asking for from the Berniers?
Of course. I haven't seen anything, by the way, about this, Dick.
Okay. I just saw a thing that came in.
Well, it didn't come to me.
It went by email. I emailed it out this morning.
Well, sorry, I haven't seen it or reviewed it.
Well, in reality, we're not supposed to be dealing with stuff today that came in today. This stuff should have all been on Friday if it's going to be at this meeting. But anyways, what is it that you're on the agenda right now? What is it that you're looking for from us, for us to be telling you that what we need for you to be turning into a restaurant?
Right. Well, we submitted a plan. I submitted a floor plan of where tables would be set up. The menu was requested. I did submit that. We have a few other. We're looking to get the doors open so we can start creating some income here, because a lot of people are just driving us crazy about food and everything else. How come you guys aren't open? But we're looking to get I guess our licensing is not for a restaurant. that's what we need to change our licensing to that, so we can prepare food.
Herb and Lee, as I said, that if to do a restaurant, when you really say we're going to turn into a restaurant, it's equipment layout, comply with all of the restaurant regulations, right? Materials of construction.
Yeah, all the minimum food codes. I mean, I'm assuming, and I really don't know, that there's quite a bit of kitchen equipment in there, but I don't think any of us have any idea what they have and where it is. You know, what condition is the floor in, the walls, the ceiling. Are the lights tubed if they're fluorescent? Is the hot water heater up to par to deliver the right temperature, et cetera, et cetera? Just like we're going through with the location across from Dollar General, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, that would be consistent with what the code says and what I think we should do.
I have found what Gene sent, and I'm looking at a hand-drawn schematic here, I guess. I don't think I can tell from this anywhere near enough to talk about this being a full-time restaurant.
No, we're not looking for a full-time restaurant. We're just providing appetizers so people can be served alcohol. We're not making prime rib dinners and things like that. We're trying to do what all the other bars are doing by serving finger foods and appetizers just so people can purchase alcohol. And our kitchen, as far as the kitchen goes, all we have up there is a gas range, which I sent pictures, a gas range and refrigerator in the kitchen.
So just as a simple question for you then, where's your hand washing area in that kitchen?
We currently don't have, we just have the 3 separation sink, but if need be, we can add a sink in there. That's just what we're trying to figure out what we need to do here. And we've had, this kitchen has been open before. We've used it for banquets and catering and all that stuff. So it's not like this is a brand new kitchen that we're just putting in. It's pre-existing and it has been pre-inspected and pre-permitted before.
Yeah, but we got to meet current code.
Right, I understand that.
I think that the right thing to do, the Board of Health shouldn't design the kitchen, I don't think. It sure seems like the appropriate thing is to get the right person that understands, that does design that kind of stuff, and go through it and prepare what's needed.
Well,
Hello, this is can I step in here? This is Rob Chauvin. I'm also with the American Legion.
Yes.
Are you guys hearing that?
Hello, this is Rob Chauvin from the American Legion. Also, I'm on the call with Steve.
Yes. Are you there?
I am here.
Yeah. So you've got the floor.
Yeah. No, I'm just Steve's got the floor for the. He's speaking for the American Legion, but I'm just here to fill in where I need to.
So I would ask you. You said finger foods, not like a real restaurant, but I see cheeseburgers and hamburgers and hot dogs and chili and stews and soup.
That's all proposed. That's all proposed. You know, like hot dogs and hamburgers will be done on an outdoor grill. If we go to that point, my personal opinion, our clientele during the week, especially during the day, are elderly people, and you're lucky if they buy a bag of potato chips. So we got to keep it small and simple. That's why we're going with the appetizer thing, like French fries, and everything that's on that list doesn't mean it's going to be available all the time. I just threw a list together of the proposed stuff that we're going to do, and we'll probably pick maybe 6 items or whatever to start off with. Something simple to keep it simple.
I understand. And when it's pouring down rain and you want to do hamburgers and cheeseburgers, where are you going to do them?
Well, we've done this, like I said, that's not necessarily going to be on the menu all the time. And if that's the case, we can set up a canopy outside.
I think that from my standpoint, again, we're not the guys that are supposed to design this. What you need to do is go, I would start with doing maybe the same thing that the Burners did, is they went to someone that does inspections. And in fact, Gene can give you the person's name that they happen to go to. And
we already have that, and that person has not contacted us yet.
She hasn't contacted you?
No, she has not, Gene. This is Rob. She has not contacted me so far.
Okay, she was supposed to get in touch with you 2 weeks ago.
Then they should find their own person. That Gene, it shouldn't be your job actually, but they need to go to someone and say, this is what we're proposing to do. What do we need to do to pass the code?
Well, this is why we're contacting the health department to see if you guys can guide us. And it doesn't seem like we're going to get very far tonight.
Well, that's what we're saying is you need to get that person, that expert, and say, here's what we're trying to do. What do we need to do to pass the code?
Right now, does this have any effect on the fact that all this stuff is already pre-existing and we've already had this stuff and we've already been inspected for stuff? Like I said, all we were trying to do is make simple foods, and it just seems like a huge. The way I'm reading the application that came to me, it was for a brand new restaurant or remodeling a restaurant. And that's not what we're doing.
What are you going to serve now that you didn't serve before?
The finger foods. The hall before was used on Friday nights when Doug Quinlan was doing his catering stuff there. He was making the dinners and the sandwiches for Friday night, the bar menu. We're not doing that. Right now, we're just going to do, like I said, we're going to have an air fryer because we're not doing anything with grease to do like French fries and onion rings, simple stuff. You know, a slice of pizza in a toaster oven. You know, just like I said, simple foods where we can just get people in the door and get things moving. Before he was doing prime rib dinners before, and we're not doing that. We're just doing, like I said, appetizer food.
I think if I'm not mistaken, the problem is one of minimum state codes. In other words, I completely understand keeping it simple. The state may not. In other words, if you're going to be running a kitchen, it has to be with minimum equipment, minimum hand washing sinks, space, lighting, ventilation. All those things have to go into place according to the state law, and that's, I think, where we're stuck.
What if I offered Lee and Herb, I don't know if it works, but what if they were serving prepackaged food and they weren't doing any food prep? That certainly, you know, to put it as not the way you do it, but if you would have been going across the street and bought a bunch of stuff at Cumbies that's all wrapped up and brought it over and serve it to your customers, you'd have food and you wouldn't be prepping anything, and would that work for everybody? I'm not saying it does. Herb and Lee, I'm asking if.
When I say we're going to have food like that, we're not going to buy potatoes and cut potatoes up. We're going to buy French fries that are already frozen, onion rings that are already frozen. It's already like go to Restaurant Depot and buy the appetizers in boxes, and we're just going to heat them up. That's the plan. I'm not doing any food prep like that or anything like that. But when you see like chili and the stews, that's potential for the future. That doesn't mean we're going to do that right now. That's a whole different ballgame as far as that goes.
Well, if it's a whole different ball game, then you're going to need, I think, to prepare for it, because that whole different ball game is going to uh, begin whenever you decide it's going to begin. And so you're going to have to do these things preemptively.
Right.
But if you got your food and it's pre-packaged, I think you get away without from the whole food prep issue, and it lets you get going because you're not in that world anymore.
Now, how about this?
Does the state allow that to occur, Dick? In other words, if you
don't
are
know
running
that.
a bar only in, let's say, a bar only in Sturbridge, and people start bringing in takeout pizza from Domino's or whatever, can they then sit at the bar elbow to elbow and eat pizza that was delivered by some kid in a,
No, I don't think that works. I think
No, we can't do that.
They have
The
to be
food has
selling
to
the
be-
food.
Right. The food has to be prepared on premise. You can't do that, what you're saying.
Okay, I mean that's I'm trying to make sure that we head in the right direction with you guys.
Now,
And
I have another idea.
satisfy state code.
What about a food truck?
That's what they're doing at the
The
joint
Drunken
on
Rabbit.
Rubber Road.
Yeah, the
That's
Drunken
what
Rabbit, yeah.
I think
Yeah,
that was,
that's-
didn't that get knocked out of there? I know in
Geez, I don't know
there's
about
some places in Florence, I think that they said, nope, that doesn't go. A question would be that I had is if the food truck, I don't know whether if it's leased and in effect becomes part of the business, can they do it? But I don't know. But again, this is the stuff that it's very difficult to be saying, oh, if you only cook a little bit of food, then you have different rules. We can let you go, but the guy up the street does a little more and he has to be a full restaurant. And
Right.
that's certainly, if I were in that place up the street, I'd say that's not very fair.
No, you're absolutely right. There's no consistency anywhere right now.
Who's your source safe guy?
He's a retired fireman here in town.
You're talking
Rob,
about who has
isn't
the current? So Steve Karen has the current. We all, there was five of us that took the Serve Safe about back in August. So there's 5 of us that are certified for Serve Safes.
Okay, so does anybody know anyone that works at Reg in Springfield?
No.
Does anybody know Matt Fernandez over on Parish Hill?
No.
No.
Okay. I'm trying to just throw some names out to get you guys started, and I shouldn't be doing this. I'm not pointing work towards anybody, but
Who are these guys?
Point that out. We can't put one restaurant that wants to open under the microscope and turn it back on another place that wants to do the same thing without getting into a world of nonsense, which we're not prepared to do. And it's not going to benefit anybody. We need to get somebody to steer you guys into the minimum state food codes. The hand washing, as Herb pointed out, all these things that have to be there, whether or not you cook one order French fries or a steak for 50 people. I think it's the same kitchen rules. And it sounds maybe unfair, but that's, I think, the way the state of Massachusetts works this thing.
Just as a point of reference, guys, this is not the thing that we're supposed to be discussing like this for heading towards a half an hour. The
Exactly.
issue here is that you guys at the American Legion you need to hire the people that are capable, that have the credentials to do this. You have to talk to them and say, this is what we're trying to do. What do we have to do? And then come back with some detailed plans on what you're doing. And that's what the Board of Health is here to do. And it's not to spend a third of our night doing this where we're going around in circles.
Well, this is what we were trying to do, and that person obviously never got to us. So we had Gene send us that information that we all filled out to try and get things moving here, and this is where we are tonight.
Yeah, and
Right,
so.
But if that was 14 days ago, come on, don't wait for us to, and I'm not trying to be an idiot, but don't wait for us to come up with somebody else's name. If someone doesn't call you back 10, 12 days ago, then you got to just keep on pushing and going and pushing and going. We are not going to, we don't know the business. We can't just keep,
Right, I understand that.
Names at you. I'm not trying to be, a bad guy, but you know my point.
Yes, I do.
Because one guy says no 10 days ago, it doesn't mean it's game over.
I do have another. Are you able to give me an idea of what the head count's going to be? I know it's 25%, but our capacity downstairs is 80. So that means 20 people. Is that correct, or is there another formula?
I don't know what that formula is.
Indoor facility can't have more than 50 people.
What do you mean?
But in fact, I think it's 25 people. It's not 50, it's 50 outdoors. It's 25 people indoors.
But now the new regulations that, again, you guys have to stay up on the regulations, but the current ones right now were that if you're a restaurant, you're now allowed to go up to 10 people at a table per group. The tables have to be separated by the 6 feet. You can have people eating at the bars, but you have to have the separation at the bars. You have to have the separation between the person serving at the bars. Those are big things. But again, you guys need to know that. That's not us to tell you how to do it. And you really do.
I understand. I understand that. I know about this new stuff that just came up. But we're trying to get an idea because I've had food vendors that, like I said, the food truck, they want to know how many people to expect. I don't have that number. I don't know if that's something you guys are going to tell us or what the state provisions are, because if you're from what I'm getting right now, what you're saying, if I put a table every 6 feet and I put tables all over that bar, I could put 40 people in that bar and still be within code.
Well, you're going to get into a bind with not having any ventilation, though. You have to think through. You can't put all these people in a cellar, for instance, with no air to breathe. So again, you have to. This is a public place that needs to be engineered.
Okay, well, I guess we're not going to get anywhere tonight, and I understand your side of it, and we're just going to have to reschedule and.
No, it's not going to help to reschedule. What you need to do is you have to go to the people that are capable of designing these spaces, tell them what you're trying to do, and have them design it according to the state codes. That's what you need to do. It's kind of the same thing if you were putting in a septic system. We wouldn't be discussing how to design the system or what the design is. We'd be telling you have to go to the guy that knows how to design it and hire him.
Okay, well, I don't know.
I mean, if it was me, there's enough food service companies around us that sell equipment. Those guys just know code and they know the current rules. And if it was me, I would be calling Kittredge or somebody in like that. And I got no connection to anybody in that business, but they do this 7 days a week for a living. And to me, they would be a decent resource to begin with.
Yeah, I understand that.
You know what I mean?
I don't know if Rob has anything additional, but I'm all done. I don't know if Mark and Jeff are still on or not, or in, if they got anything additional.
Yeah, this is Rob. So, we've been shut down since middle of March. So we're trying to reopen under the current COVID state guidelines. Fraternal and military organizations can open during phase 2 if they're serving food. So that's why we're trying to get a permit to serve food. We had a permit for special events, and that's what we operated under for many years. We were serving food on Friday nights, and for the past 40, 50 years, and with no issues. But under the current COVID, you have to have basically a restaurant license. So that's what we're trying to do. So we're trying to work with you. We can fill out the permit for a food permit, restaurant permit. And, I think we're smart enough, us down to Legion, we can space the tables far enough, and we'll have the hand sanitizers, and we'll have, what we need by the state guidelines. But, we're trying to work with you so we can reopen, because like I said, we've been shut down for 6 months. So we're we're almost out of money. So we're trying to reopen. There's other Legions in the area that are reopened. They're serving food. So that's what we're trying to do.
And I guess we told you what you need to do, and it's going to be up to you to do it or not do it.
Is that a resource, Rob? Talking to these other places to figure out what they had to do to get the groundwork done to meet the state code. This isn't Granby stuff. This is state stuff.
No, right. So they worked with their local, town board of health, and they have the appropriate restaurant license probably. Yeah. So that's what we're trying to do.
And we've said it. We summarize everybody for a half an hour now. Right. We can't keep just going and going. We're going around in a circle and a circle and a circle. Right. So we're gonna have to.
Dick Bombardier. Right. Dick Bombardier, I understand what you're saying. And, we've been trying to, we're doing our part here. So we're looking for some cooperation from the Board of Health to help us reopen here. I think a lot of people in town want the Granby American Legion reopen, because the Granby American Legion does great things in town. So we need to get the Granby American Legion open for business.
And this Board of Health isn't going to let you do it and get people sick either. So we're telling you, you have to go to somebody. It would be, again, I said, if your septic system was not working, coming in and saying, hey, Board of Health, cooperate. That's not what it is. There are rules that you need to follow. You have to find out. And you guys don't want to do that. But I'm going to have to cut you off.
No, what do you mean? Well, no, we definitely want to do that. Why are you saying we don't want to do that? I don't understand.
Because we just said 15 minutes ago, we said the same thing, and we're still going. And we got other stuff. The board has to stop this right now. We've gone about a half an hour, and Herb and Lee, are you saying also that it's time to cut the end of this discussion?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to have to cut it off, guys. Okay. On my list of items, Gene, before I go to any further on mine, what do you have for us?
The Granby Preservation Society, their Halloween event. They're going to have candy, prepackaged candy that they will be, I guess the cars are going to drive up and they will be handing them out. And they just want approval for that.
Handing them out or putting them on a table for them?
Well, I think they're going to put them on a table.
That sounds just peachy.
It sounded to me when I mentioned it to the woman, I think I copied everybody in. It sounded to me like exactly what we just approved for the Presbyterian Church.
Okay.
Is that the way you see it too, Lee?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Should be a good event with no issue.
Okay, so that's That's okay. I've got a call tomorrow morning with the Attorney General's office at 8:30 regarding why we called an emergency with the Boy Scouts. And my plan is, that's the other, I didn't get that document either, Gene.
Okay, I don't know what's going on because I did send it.
Yeah.
I'll resend it.
And, but essentially, unless you guys, I'm just gonna tell exactly the truth. That we did an inspection on a Saturday. It's the one that typically is either done on the first day of the camp, but it's a late one after they're ready to go. At the time of the inspection, the inspector and a member of the board saw that there was an active fire, one or more fire ranges near there. And we said, gee, this has the potential of hurting someone or killing someone. And we've got to meet because it's Saturday and this is going to start up on Monday. And that after that, on Monday morning, we called the meeting, a posted meeting, as fast as we could and had it afterwards.
So, Dick, if the person you speak to wants the firsthand information, since I was there, have them call me or give me the number and I'll call them.
Okay.
Because I was there and part of it,
Yeah.
and raise the alarm to this whole thing.
Yeah, if they need to do that, then I will in fact tell them to do that.
Good.
The next item that I have, and they're looking for our support, is Granby High School. The engineers continue to work, and the report is that it does not have the ventilation that's required for safety. One of the accepted ways of dealing with air changes, there are actually two parts of it. One is that there's a minimum amount that have to come in for carbon dioxide for breathing, but there's a bigger amount that gets the 5 air changes per hour that's needed, and they're proposing to do it with high efficiency particulate filters, HEPA, high efficiency, I don't know, but it's maybe particulate and aerosol, but they're HEPA filters. And it's an accepted way to do it. That's what they're proposing. What they found out is that the hallways didn't have enough ventilation on the second floor. The first floor they did. So they're abandoning one room and making it a fresh air plenum. And they're modifying in the cafeteria. There wasn't enough airflow, it wasn't balanced. So they are not planning on serving any or preparing any food. They're using the big range hoods to be the ventilation with the windows open and supplemental heating that's going in. And they're just asking if we're going to allow them to move forward with the engineering part to get this finished. They're putting in some trial HEPA units right now.
So they're going to put one of these in every classroom, Dick?
Yeah, that's what the plan is.
Wow.
That's what the plan is.
How much, do you have any idea what they cost? Just as...
Yeah, the little ones that they're using are about $600 for the device, but they then have to have some ducts put in them to get them so that the air gets a little bit distributed in the room. So I'm sure that's, a minimum of $1,000 at a pop. And I've told them that you just can't put in a little remediation device without making sure they keep working. So they're going to have to buy test equipment and put it in so that they're measuring particle counts, and they're gonna have to measure carbon dioxide concentration and air flows, and it's not a joke.
How noisy are these machines? Because how do you run a classroom if there's significant background noise?
That's what they talked about today. They've got a decibel rating that's published on them of 69, which is pretty loud. And
It's very loud.
yeah. And so they were putting the things in, and the engineer is coming in on Thursday again to look at the trial units, and they're looking at, if they need to, attenuation to see if they can get the noise down. And so it's not a done deal, but apparently there's another program that they're working on to try to do a long-term solution to this. That's not in the time frame that they can get this school started up.
Right. Yeah. And is there a discussion about a further contingency plan if, in fact, these ideas don't pan out?
I have not heard any.
Yeah. Very tough.
So, but what they were asking is saying, is the board gonna at least let them move forward to try to make this approach work? I don't know that we have a choice. I listen, the engineers are certified in this stuff, and they look like they have a handle on it. I've been kind of pushing on them, more than kind of. But when I give my address, I give your address, Herb. So if they start to burn anything.
Yeah, right. Well, I think we have to let them go forward to see if this is a potential solution. We obviously need something that's functional.
Yeah.
The noise issue really does worry me, though. So I hope if these units are effective, I hope the noise can be attenuated.
Yeah, that's what I did. In fact, I also gave them I've got a sound meter app, a free one on my phone that, it's not a absolute, certified device, but I told them they can all do that for free and move the thing around the room and look at attenuation pieces, or they're putting foam and stuff, and at least they can see whether they make some differences without having the engineer come in every time they try to do something.
Yeah.
But the noise was something that they were definitely concerned about.
Yeah, I can understand that.
So I will let them know at my next meeting. That on my list is a Granby Bow and Gun Club. And just to let people know, we're at 740 right now. And I did look, I sent a note out to everybody that when I talked to Chris Martin, the town doesn't have money. As far as he knows, that he does not have a source of money that he knows of at the state for us to hire consultants. As he pointed out, if they were looking for a zone change or going to the planning board, the planning board could say it's part of the permit that they would get that they'd be getting, that they would have to pay the town for peer review, but that doesn't come into account. And I do know enough about the noise part of it that is very difficult. I think there's room if we wanted to say that when they changed to the high-powered rifles, it got noisier, but we'd really have to go into the noise rules to say how many shots have to occur, and I think it's the safety part, and I'm looking at the game that I would see that we'd have a shot is if Belchertown was willing to really start to participate and say, you know, it's our people that are really the ones that are most at risk. Let's two towns get together and go to a state rep and say, what can you do to help two towns? But I'm open. I just don't know where to head.
Well, we can't head off by ourselves, that's for sure. We are not experts in any of the issues, the ballistics, the safety issues, the backstops, the ricochets, overshooting, the noise, any of those issues we would need help with. So unless there's some way to get help, and I think you're reaching out to Belchertown some time ago was a good start, Dick. And I think without some cooperation with Belchertown, I really don't understand what we can do. I guess I would also ask you whether you know anything about all those trucks that were delivering something to the site. You suggested it might be clean fill, and if it's clean fill, it has nothing to do with us. But do we have any idea what was in those?
Jean, do you indicated that the
Yeah,
club
she had
had
told me they were bringing in clean fill from Amy's Trucking in Amherst. And then she had called to say that they were bringing in a couple of truckloads of gravel for the parking lot.
Uh-huh.
Well,
But then Mr. Laborde said that there were a lot of trucks. I don't know how many he said, but it was like 11 one day, 11 another day. I don't know if it was 60 truckloads, so I don't know.
I recall the number 60 or 80.
Okay.
And I know Herb commented on it when it came out.
Yeah, well, it seemed pretty extraordinary to me. Were they building a better backstop at the end of the long rifle range? I don't know. If they were doing that, improving the safety there, that's probably a good thing. But I have no idea what was in those trucks or what the reason for them all being there was.
Is it worthwhile for Gene to get in touch with the managers and ask if they can just schedule a time when one of us can go in and look at what the quality of the material that they brought in, you know, like I did with on the trap rock place that where they brought the crushed glass in. At least you go and look and see what's there.
That's right, because that turned out to be clean material they were bringing, wasn't it, Dick?
That's correct.
Yeah.
The truckloads of fill, she said, were being used to fill in the erosion on the back hill.
Ah.
And then the gravel was used to fix the parking area.
Oh, so, okay. And the back hill is the long range backstop?
I don't know. She said that it was something, the erosion from the weather that they were fixing.
I would guess it's probably not from the rain.
Well, probably not. Not lately, anyway.
Yeah.
So, Gene, why don't you just call up and see if they'll arrange for someone to be able to just go in. They can drive whoever it is back up in there. We'll follow them up and they can show us. It certainly ought to be easy to see 60 loads of fill.
Okay.
And then we'll at least know that part. And I guess
All
then,
right.
then if you agree, Herb and Lee, I'll open the thing back up with Belchertown and go to, I think his name is Gary Brome, I think.
Yes, it is.
And I'll start back with him and say, this is what we're up against. We need some help here to work as 2 pounds if we're going to get this to happen.
Maybe they have flexible funding, because some funding's going to have to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
We can't pull this out of the air if we're interested in specs about any of this stuff.
Oh, and I just pulling a number out of the sky, it certainly wouldn't surprise me to see someone spend $10,000 or $20,000 on this.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because you need multiple experts to deal with.
Yep.
There's not going to be one person who is going to be able to handle this. Plus, you're going to need legal counsel.
Yeah, that's right. That's gonna occur next. So, okay, that's what I'll do. So out of this one, Gene, if you make the call to see if we can get in and look at it, and
Okay,
and
is there
I'll-
a preference to what day or time?
Not as far as I'm concerned, if it turns out to be me, except I'm not sure how savvy I am about clean fill versus not so clean fill. But I'm available most of the time.
And I can, if you get a couple days and time, and let's see if we can get something that fits.
Okay, sounds good.
Plus, as just from an informational perspective, I think one of us, maybe more than one of us, needs to at least see that. I've never been in there, and we're talking about something in the abstract, which to me doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I'd like to have a better sense of what this looks like, what the shed looks like, what their shooting area looks like, what this backstop is, what their sense is about ricochets and overshoots.
I agree with Herb. I know nothing about it either. The only thing I've seen is driving by on Chicopee Street.
Well,
And that's
then
the
if there's-
entrance,
right.
isn't it? Yeah, that's just the entrance of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've never seen, none of us have been out back.
No.
So if there's a possibility of some morning time slots, maybe whatever, 8, 9 o'clock, maybe there 3 of us could spend maybe whatever, 20, 30 minutes up there and get some education as to what's going on, which would prepare us for the ensuing battle.
Yeah.
Would we have to have a posted meeting to do that?
If we're careful that we don't discuss anything about making decisions, that if you're really careful about it and say we're not going to do it, we could go in 3 different cars and have someone talk with us and just say we're just not going to do it. But as long as no one asks us a question and asks us for an opinion or we can do it.
It's information gathering.
Right.
It's observation and information gathering only.
Yeah. But we could, especially with this COVID environment, we could take the 3 cars and say, look we just went up there and someone showed us and told us and we didn't talk to each other about it. So we could do that.
I'm okay with that.
So if you could do that, Gene, so you tell them that it looks like the three of us would like to see it,
Okay, I will give them a call in the morning.
okay? That is what I had on my list. Anybody else got anything?
I do. Hello?
Yes?
Hello? This is Ed Barry. I had a septic system design in front of you for review for a property on Bachelor Road.
Yes, but Gene was supposed to get in touch with you and tell you that you weren't going to be on tonight.
Oh,
I did send out an email.
But what our procedure, Ed, is that the way we're doing these things is I'm the board rep for system designs. Herb does restaurants and health stuff, and Lee does inspections. But we review the things offline. So when we get to these sessions where all the items are ironed out.
Right, and I appreciate that. As chairman of the Orange Conservation Commission, I can't tell you how much I appreciate what all of you have to do and what we're going through with this COVID thing. I just wanted to touch base with you guys so that you got a sense of where I was coming from. I know, Dick, you reviewed the septic plan, and I had proposed a Presby system. And your concerns were, and rightfully so, about the depth to materials.
I'm going to cut you off, Ed, because this is exactly the thing that the board says we don't want to do at the meetings. And so
okay.
You and I we'll do this offline, and we'll get through and get all the issues taken care of, just you and I, and then you'll come back to the board and this will zip right through.
Okay, that sounds wonderful. Thank you very much for your time. I've enjoyed listening to your meeting, and I will be in touch with you directly, Dick. Thank you.
Okay, have a good night, Ed.
Bye.
Bye. So with that, I'm going to say good night to everybody.